Ready, Nita, whenever you're ready.
Okay. When I was a kid, I used to ask my mom and dad for a dog all the time. And finally, when I was about 14 years old, they gave in and they got me a dog. We had it about 4 months and then realized it was not compatible with our family, and so we had to give it away to somebody else. This is kind of like what it's like for an organ recipient on a waiting list. They wait and they wait and they wait, and if they're lucky they get a match, and then if they're even luckier, they're able to get and receive the transplant. I'll now briefly give you an idea of the realities of organ donation. The three realities are: there's a great need for organ donors, that families won't opt to give away your organs if you're in a state that you can't make the decision yourself, and signing up for a donor is easy once you decide to do it. The need for organ donation is constantly growing. Reality one, there's a huge need for these donors. Right now, there's 111,000 people waiting for organs. I live in Oakdale. We have 35,000 people in our city. That's 3 times as many. I just couldn't believe it. Every day, 19 people die while waiting on the lists. I think that this class is 21. That means every single one of us but 2 would be dead if we were waiting on a waiting list. And every 11 seconds, somebody new is put on that list, which means there's 130 people a day being added. Furthermore, reality number 2, your family won't opt to give away your organs if they're in a grief situation. I went onto the WebMD site, and there was a small little blurb about how they go into a state of shock, and somehow getting rid of the organs means they've given rid of part of their family member, so they won't opt to do it. There's a donation team in the hospital. They can come and talk to them about giving the donor or the organs as a donation, but they can't sway them one way or another to give it away. And of course, the hospital has to prove that the organ donation person is brain dead, which means you go through about 24 to 36 hours of tests before they can prove that they're legally brain dead. 4 years ago, next week, my 30-some-year-old niece had to make that choice when her husband, who had a previous health issue, was found unconscious and never regained consciousness. She sat down with his parents, and they tried to make the decision. Justin had told her many times if he ever died, he wanted to be an organ donor. His mother and father wouldn't give up the organs. I watched them sit and fight over each other, if they're gonna give the donor organs or not. As it turned out, he had streptococcus, and he couldn't donate because they can't give organs that have that. And therefore, reality number 3, signing up to be an organ donor is really easy. There's several different ways. You can actually go on and do an organ donation card. You can sign and check on the box when you renew your driver's license. Or you can do a health care initiative through your doctor's office that will say whether or not you want to donate your organs or not. So in conclusion, let me recap the realities. 1, there's a huge need. 2, your family won't give your organs away if you can't speak for yourself. And 3, signing up is easy. I've got my license here. You can't see it, but in red it says donor. I also have a healthcare directive that says I will give my organs. And all of my family members know if I get to the point where I cannot speak for myself, and I'm not gonna make it to donate my organs. And in donating the organs, I could potentially save 8 lives.